Hello everyone and welcome to Gamexpert. Today I've got a brand new episode of Arefintendo for all of you wonderful viewers. I know I've been gone for a while, but I assure you I'm feeling better than ever right now. I'm really excited to cover all of these stories. We've got gaming news from December, January, February, and we've even got a Nintendo Direct to cover. So yeah, basically just brand new year, brand new month, brand new episode. Really excited to talk to you about all this stuff. Yeah, let's just get on with it. So our first story comes from a game called Overwatch. You may have heard of it. It's a very popular online multiplayer hero shooter which involves a lot of teamwork, and one of its biggest selling points is that it's got a very diverse range of characters, not only in the fact that they all play differently, but also the fact that a lot of them are from different genders, different age ranges, different body types, different ethnicities, and one of these characters you may know of is Soldier 76, also known as Jack Morrison, and recently it was announced that this character is gay, which is interesting. It's just like a part of the story, part of the lore. Jack Morrison was previously in a homosexual relationship with a character called Vincent. You can't play as Vincent, it's not a playable character, but yeah, again, that's just part of the story of Overwatch, which I found kind of interesting, because I think Overwatch is definitely a good example of just good representation in games, something we want to kind of see more. It promotes like this diverse range of characters, inclusivity, a game for kind of everyone. It's like wanting everyone to be involved and included. I think it's just a good message. I think definitely we should see more of that in games, hopefully in the future. But this isn't the first kind of gay character in Overwatch. A while ago Blizzard or Overwatch announced that Tracer was also gay. So yeah, these are just kind of two characters that are homosexual, if you kind of wanted to know that. One kind of funny thing that I found from this story is just it's interesting to see how people react to the news that Soldier 76 is gay, because it isn't really like, lots of people were kind of outraged over it, which is just ridiculous and kind of funny to see that it's almost getting angry over nothing really. Like, there's no reason to be angry over a fictional character's sexuality, really. But anyway, yeah, that was just kind of funny to see. One criticism I definitely do have of Overwatch is just the fact that a lot of its story is almost hidden. It isn't really always apparent in the game. Like, if you're just playing Overwatch, you wouldn't really be able to tell. It doesn't let you find out any of this information about their backstory or their sexuality. Like, you wouldn't know if Soldier 76 is gay unless you searched it up somewhere. So even if it is canon, I kind of wish that Overwatch did have a bit more of a story mode, or some just kind of information on all the characters, stuff like that, because a lot of the time you just find out from like trailers, cutscenes, stuff online. I feel like that's a bit of a shame, because the Overwatch universe, the Overwatch lore is definitely quite interesting, but I don't really want to like search up all on myself, like on wikis and stuff. One interesting other like kind of criticism I saw, I don't know if I necessarily believe in it, was that just the fact that maybe the motives for making Soldier 76 gay maybe weren't all good-natured, kind of. That Blizzard, the company that made Overwatch, were under a lot of fire for several reasons, including the fact that they released Diablo Mobile, and lots of fans were really upset and angry over that. That was like really not a good look for Blizzard, as well as just in the esports scene for Overwatch. There was this whole kind of controversy over the player Ellie, and that was just like embarrassing for all people involved, really. So yeah, Blizzard were kind of under fire, and then conveniently they made Soldier 76 gay, and then I don't know whether that was like kind of for brownie points, whether that was for pats on the back. Don't really know whether that was a PR move or not, but either way, I feel like regardless of intentions, this is a really good thing. This is something that I feel like we should definitely see more of, and I think definitely I want to like, rather than kind of doubting the decision or why it was made, I'd rather just like focus on the positive aspect of the fact that it's good representation in Overwatch. Another kind of, that's like, now yeah, we just covered how Soldier 76 is queer. Got another kind of similar related story, LGBT related, or LGBT themed. Basically a popular YouTuber by the name of Hbomberguy recently did a live stream playing Donkey Kong 64. Now you may be wondering, why does that matter? Why is that so important? Well, it wasn't just any Twitch stream or live stream, it was a charity stream, which I really like. I always love the idea of charity streams, just being able to play games or really do anything for a good cause. That's always great. Specifically, this cause was for Mermaid's charity, which is a charity that helps transgender youth, and it's been running since 1995. And yeah, it's just been helping people who suffer from gender dysphoria, all kind of like mainly focused on young people, kind of ranging from like 16 plus really. And yeah, I think that's just like a great cause, great charity. Basically, the reason why Hbomberguy chose this, just to give a little context, which I found quite interesting, was the fact that basically the National Lottery in the UK was going to like give its charity, fund and help fund Mermaid's charity, but this kind of writer and comedian in the UK you may know of, called Graham Linehan, who worked on the shows Father Ted and IT Crowd, as some of the works he's done, he decided to kind of go on this online boycott of the National Lottery or the Mermaid's charity. And it was just like, people kind of realized that he's being very transphobic. He tried to like get a lot of support for trying to not get this Mermaid's charity the funding that it was promised. Just seemed like really strange. And then Hbomberguy kind of took it into his own hands to call Graham Linehan out and also show him up by like trying to raise funds himself for this Mermaid's charity as well. And it turned out to be very successful. It was Hbomberguy like streamed for 57 hours, which is insane. He raised $340,000 and he had like more than 20,000 viewers. So overall, it was like a huge success. One of the like really interesting things that happened on the stream was that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez made an appearance, which, if you don't know who she is, she's the youngest woman to ever serve in US Congress, and she's like, also, it's just, she's got a really interesting story that she's like quite democratic, quite socialist. She came from a working class family kind of, and yeah, it's just like, it was really cool that she made an appearance. And yeah, it's just like, it's great. This whole story is really positive. Raise money for charity, supporting trans rights. It's all great. It's all good. It's all cool. Also happy to confirm that Mermaid's charity did in fact get the additional £500,000 from the National Lottery that it was promised, despite Linehan's more malicious efforts in preventing that from happening. Next story of the day, slightly different, just like going to more Nintendo related news. In January, lots of people were expecting a Nintendo Direct. Unfortunately, we didn't really get one. I don't know why everyone really expected one, but we didn't get a Nintendo Direct. In fact, Nintendo kind of released some bad news, really. It was just, it was bad news, but it was like the way people reacted to it luckily wasn't as bad. Like, people were quite supportive of what happened, considering it was so disappointing. So I'll just get on with it. Basically, Metroid Prime 4 was announced last year at E3, and everyone was really excited for it. Everyone was really hyped because Metroid Prime 3 was released in 2007 and there hasn't been a new Metroid Prime game since. So yeah, everyone was really excited for Metroid Prime 4. Unfortunately, Nintendo revealed that there were lots of development issues with Metroid Prime 4, and unfortunately there was just going to be like a huge setback because the game wasn't up to Nintendo standards. So they're going to delay the project and start from scratch really, and this time they're going to try to involve Retro Studios with the development because they worked on the original Metroid Prime games, Metroid Prime 1, 2 and 3. And really, yeah, it was just a shame really that it was kind of this bad news had to happen, that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be started over from scratch. It's a bit sad, but really a lot of people took it kind of quite well. I feel like even considering the fact that people were waiting for this game for a really long time, they kind of were happy that they're being quite transparent with what's happening, and they're just saying, yeah, we're like trying to make this game as best as we can. We know you're really excited and really looking forward to it, but we want it to be up to kind of standards, which, yeah, I think, again, like, it's sad that it isn't coming out, but overall it's probably a good decision, and hopefully things from here will just be looking up for Metroid Prime 4. Another story is unfortunately more bad news, Nintendo related, is that Wii Shop channel is closing. Wii Shop channel is basically gone. Which is kind of funny that me personally, I never used Wii Shop channel really for anything, to buy anything, so it doesn't really make a huge difference to me. But it did kind of spark this interesting conversation that all online stores will eventually go obsolete. So yeah, basically just Wii Shop channel, you're not able to purchase content on it. It happened on January 30th this year, 2019. And really, yeah, this just kind of a conversation of digital games versus physical games. It's quite interesting that I've always preferred physical games myself. I feel like they're always kind of more reliable a bit, even if they can get broken or lost. I feel like you're actually getting something tangible for what you're paying, really. So, and I kind of just like the kind of collector's item of just being able to have cases and stuff. But really, like, so from a business perspective, obviously kind of companies want to be earning the most money, so selling games digitally is the best decision for them, because they don't have to pay for printing or manufacturing and all the cases and games and manuals and stuff, and they're like basically getting more profit from the game. But as a customer, from a consumer perspective, I always feel like buying physical is better for me, because then you're paying the same price, but you're getting that kind of physical copy. You're getting the case, you're getting the cartridge or the disc, you're getting the manual, and you're actually like paying the same price for more, basically. But really, there were lots of titles on the Wii Shop. There was a huge library of games you could get, and some of them were exclusively digital, exclusive to the Wii Shop channel. And now the Wii Shop channel is closed, you won't be able to buy lots of those games ever again, really. So that's kind of, yeah, it's just a huge shame. I don't really know what anyone can do about it, really, other than now if you want to play those games, you just have to resort to piracy, really. That's your only option if there is no physical copy. So that's kind of the danger of having digitally exclusive games. I feel like with any kind of online store, with the Nintendo Switch eShop, with PlayStation Store, the Xbox Store, all of these games, if they're digital only, if they're digital exclusive, then they can just get lost forever, and you won't ever be able to play them again after like a good amount of time, which is, yeah, it's just really sad. I feel like this was a kind of wake up call to a lot of people with the Wii Shop channel closing. People kind of realized that we need more physical games. We really need to push and make sure companies know that we want physical games and not digital only. Other than mourning over the Wii Shop channel's death, mainly just interesting conversation over kind of digital versus physical games. More Nintendo news. Smash Ultimate came out December 7th, 2018. It's a game that I was very excited for. I was very hyped for. I bought it, I purchased it, I played it, I love it. It's a great game. Yeah, just like news from that game, basically a few tidbits. I'm gonna talk about it a bit more later, but first of all, something I found quite interesting was that DjCutman was originally planned to be in the game, but was cut and replaced by Incineroar. So basically, they're two like kind of Pokemon from Pokemon Sun and Moon, and yeah, DjCutman, it would have been kind of interesting to see what he would have been like. Overall, it's fine. I think Incineroar is like still a good choice as well. That was quite funny that DjCutman was cut. That was interesting to be revealed. Basically, the biggest news story to come from Smash Ultimate recently is the fact that Piranha Plant is now available. You can play as Piranha Plant. He's really fun to play as. I played as him now. Basically, he's free DLC for people who have purchased the game early, people who've bought Smash Ultimate early, like on the day, pre-ordered, or just recently. Then you get this kind of coupon code for Piranha Plant. Now you can play as him, and yeah, everyone was just really excited because even when Piranha Plant was revealed, it was just a huge surprise. Really, it was quite funny to see Piranha Plant in Smash. No one was really expecting it. And now, yeah, you can just play as him. He's really fun to play as. I already said that. But just to go through some of the special moves of it, is that he has this kind of spike ball move called Patui as his neutral special. Just as all of his special moves. His left and right special is Poison Breath, and is really powerful Poison Breath. Basically, it just like he spits out some cloud of purple mist and it does a crazy amount of damage if you use it properly. His up special is called Piranha Copter, and it has a huge range, a huge distance. It can it's really good for recovering. If you're way off the stage, you can still probably get back up. Last of all, like his down special is pretty cool. He just kind of like goes into his pot and then he extends fully. And he's got again like a really huge range, which is quite cool. That's basically it. That's all that I have to say really about Piranha Plant. It definitely caused a lot of kind of online hype, which I was quite interested by. Like one of the things people noticed was that if Kirby absorbs Piranha Plant, he kind of has a cute Kirby little head, just kind of like Piranha Plant head on him, on Kirby. That was quite funny. As for non-Nintendo games, I know a lot of this has been Nintendo. That for January, some of the biggest releases in January were Resident Evil 2. There was a remake released in January, which it's been over 20 years since the original Resident Evil 2. So now there's this new Resident Evil 2 remake. It's basically a horror survival game where you follow a police officer called Leon Kennedy in a zombie apocalypse, and it looks really fun. It's all like HD, it's all remade, it's all new, like based on the original game obviously, and it looks really fun. It's just from Capcom. I haven't played it myself, but again, that was like a game that people were quite excited about, and yeah, I'd love to try it in the future if I can get a hold of it. Another huge, long-awaited game that came out recently in January was Kingdom Hearts 3, which you may know it's a JRPG or like a role-playing game, and it's just been really highly anticipated, hyped, and loads of people have been looking forward to it. It's been about like a 14-year wait since the Kingdom Hearts 2 really. There have been lots of kind of side games and spin-off titles, but this is the first kind of big release in a really long time. It's really popular really, like it's the fastest selling game in the series. I think it's had like 5 million copies shipped, not necessarily sold, but that's like a huge amount nonetheless. And basically, if you don't know what Kingdom Hearts is, it's basically this crossover between surprisingly Disney characters like Mickey Mouse, Goofy, Donald Duck, and just anyone you can think of Disney related, and then also kind of anime characters and manga characters, these original kind of Japanese style characters like Sora, Kairi, Riku, and it's just like, it's a really interesting like kind of conflict of designs almost, and I feel like, I don't know if it works that well, but it's definitely really interesting, and I find it quite like just unique, and it's somewhat obscure, the fact that it's just like these very well-known Disney characters just contrast with these cartoony Japanese characters like Sora and whatever. It's kind of known for having quite a convoluted plot in general, kind of like, I haven't played many Kingdom Hearts games myself, but it's got quite a complex story, to say the least. I don't know if lots of people say it doesn't make sense, but I can't really say myself, because obviously you have to play all the other games to really know what's going on. So really, this is just like a big game for fans of the series. I don't know if you'll enjoy it much if you haven't played the other games, but it's just yeah, really exciting considering it's been just such a long wait, and apparently like the opening cutscene is really emotional. But yeah, again, really just like, that's a cool game. Kingdom Hearts 3 came out this year, finally, after the long wait. Square Enix released Kingdom Hearts 3. We've got a few smaller stories that are Nintendo related, but then we're probably going to cover the Nintendo Direct. First of all, this wasn't like necessarily formally announced, but there's going to be a new free-to-play mobile game soon called Dr. Mario World, and it's going to be releasing in early summer. It's going to have like transactions, but it's just going to be like a free puzzle game really. And if you don't know what Dr. Mario is, it's basically just like your typical kind of matching colors kind of puzzle game with a similar format to kind of Tetris and stuff. So yeah, that looks fun. I'm looking forward to playing that. I think Dr. Mario would definitely suit the mobile kind of casual market. Another Nintendo related story is that with the Nintendo Switch Online, which is a paid subscription service for the Switch, I'm not a huge fan of it. If you don't already know, I feel like it's not necessarily worth the money, even if it is the cheapest online subscription service out of all the consoles from like PlayStation to Xbox. It's only £20 a year, which is quite cheap. It's got one of the cool things about the Switch Online is the fact that it's got this kind of virtual console element of emulating NES games, and Nintendo has been kind of releasing these slowly. They've got a bunch of games, and now 2 to add to it is Super Mario Bros. 2 and Kirby's Adventure, which is cool. I think it's fun. Both 2 like cool NES games just to add to the collection if you have NES or if you have Nintendo Switch Online. It's worth mentioning that the Super Mario Bros. 2 is the Doki Doki Panic version and not the Japanese kind of exclusive Lost Levels version that we didn't really get in the West that much. So yeah, Super Mario Bros. 2, Kirby's Adventure, both you can play them now if you have Nintendo Switch Online. Now, finally, we're up to the Nintendo Direct, which happened on the 13th of February 2019. It was announced really like it was happened shortly after it was announced. It was announced on 12th of February, and it was funny because there was a lot of speculation, a lot of anticipation. Everyone was really excited and hyped for the Nintendo Direct because of course they are. Everyone always is with Nintendo Directs. Definitely, any predictions I made or expectations I had were kind of, I didn't expect most of the things in the Direct. I think I wasn't necessarily disappointed, I was mainly surprised, and a lot of the games maybe I wasn't as interested in, but upon kind of further reflection, there were a lot of really big, cool announcements in this Direct. First of all, it opened up with Super Mario Maker 2, which is a sequel to Super Mario Maker. Kind of, you could probably tell, I mean, Super Mario Maker was for the Wii U and 3DS, so now this sequel is going to be coming to the Switch. They've added like loads of new features, loads of new mechanics, including slopes or like diagonal surfaces, which was a huge request in the original. They've added new enemies like Angry Sun and lots of other stuff. Added new blocks, new tiles, new switches. It's got a slightly new layout. We've got kind of elements and features from Super Mario 3D World, which is really interesting because that's like obviously a 3D game, but Super Mario Maker is just for making Mario levels that are 2D, which is it's just it looks really fun. It's definitely like really interesting to see that there have been rumors or kind of speculation over the fact that this might have a co-op or multiplayer aspect to it or an element to it. Kind of basically we've just seen kind of lots of different characters in the promotional artwork that instead of just focusing on Mario, we've seen like Luigi and Toadette and Toads and just in general lots of different characters. So maybe this could mean that more people can help you make levels or more people can play the levels with you, so it's multiplayer. So yeah, I just think that would be really cool if that's the case, if there is a co-op aspect. But that's just speculation, that's not confirmed really. Another huge announcement was Tetris 99, which is just, completely surprising. No one really saw it coming. It's basically Tetris, but a battle royale. Tetris 99 is basically, everyone knows what Tetris is. It's a puzzle game, really popular, and this is going to be a competitive online Tetris where 99 players go in, and then there's only one winner, and you have to play. Whoever lasts the longest wins. It's really fun. It sounds really fun. I want to try it. I haven't tried it yet. It's out now. I really want to play it. It just seems like a really cool idea. I never thought of like Tetris Battle Royale. And then we've seen kind of like everyone making jokes of where we dropping boys, but it's like it's with Tetris instead of Fortnite. Clever joke we have there. Personally, I really thought we were going to see more from Smash Bros Ultimate. I thought we were going to see quite a lot of like kind of Joker gameplay because he was confirmed for Smash Ultimate, but we didn't really get any information on Smash at all, other than the fact that we're going to get another update, a 3.0 update. Like we're on 2.0 right now, we're going to get 3.0 in April. We don't really have any information, which I don't know, I'm not that mad about it or sad about it, really. Like, we've had loads of directs that are purely focused on Smash Ultimate, and we've already, like, have a lot of content in it. Not really desperate for more. I haven't even finished playing lots of stuff that you can play. So, yeah, really just, like, it was a bit sad we didn't see much. Mainly just gonna get an update in April. It's quite cool that, lots of people are kind of speculating again, just like rumors again, but there might be a stage builder coming in this 3.0 update, just because there was this kind of teaser image and it looked like it could be a stage builder. I'm not really sure. We just have to wait and find out in April. Another announcement from this direct was Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for the Switch is getting free co-op as DLC, and also paid DLC as in like new courses, and that's going to be coming out in March. So yeah, the main game's already out. This is just going to be cool DLC to play if you're still playing that game and you're hungry for more content. Then wait for March, you'll be able to get it. And also, if you haven't tried this game, there's also going to be a demo out, which is quite cool. Another game that's coming out is Yoshi's Crafted World, which is coming out in March again. And Yoshi's Crafted World is like a sequel to Woolly World, which was out on the Wii U and 3DS, and it's got this kind of arts and crafts aesthetic. And yeah, it looks pretty fun, just like your regular Nintendo platformer, with a bit of a twist that's all related to kind of wool and cardboard and different arts and crafts. And you can also try a demo of that if you want on the eShop. The main game's coming out in March. Another game that's coming out soon this year is Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is a new entry in the Fire Emblem series. It's coming out for the Switch, so it's going to be like HD, all great graphics and stuff. Basically, we just kind of sourced a few bits of information on the kind of story in this game in the direct, which is like this. It's going to be set in this kingdom called Fodlan. There's going to be 3 kingdoms and like 3 houses. One's called Black Eagles with like a leader called Edelgard. One's called Blue Lions with a leader called Dimitri, and the last one's called Golden Deer with a leader called Claude. And basically you'll just be able to choose out of these 3 houses when you play the game. We didn't get a whole lot of information, but there was like quite a big amount just on the story really. And we know we're gonna this game, Fire Emblem Three Houses, is gonna be coming out in July, so slightly delayed because we thought it was gonna come out in spring. It was originally planned for spring, but you know, just a bit late. It's fine. Hopefully you can wait till then if you're looking forward to that game. Finally, really, there was like a lot of titles, but these are just the highlights. One of the biggest highlights I thought was at the end of the direct. At the very end was the announcement of a Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake, which is pretty exciting, I think. Yeah, this Legend of Zelda, there's going to be a new Legend of Zelda remake of Link's Awakening, which was a Game Boy title. It's like a 2D Zelda basically, and it's going to come for the Switch. It's got a really kind of cutesy, cartoony design. Like, Link just looks really adorable. It's really funny that you just got this kind of tiny Link and all these kind of, yeah, it's very cartoony look to the game. I'm definitely quite excited for it. Now we have a 3D Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and now we're gonna also have this kind of 2D Zelda of Link's Awakening. Also, just quickly, I'm going to quickly just mention, honorable mention of lots of the games that were kind of mentioned in the Direct, because there's a lot of third-party games. These were all kind of first-party. There are a ton of first-party exclusive games on the Switch, and there's also a ton of third-party support, which I'm just really happy about. So if you're interested in any of these, some of the games that were mentioned were Hellblade, Starlink, Dragon Quest Rune Factory, Deltarune, Dead by Daylight, Final Fantasy, Astral Chain, which is a brand new game by Platinum Games, Mortal Kombat, and Assassin's Creed. And some games that weren't mentioned but are still planned for 2019 as like first party exclusive titles for the Switch are Luigi's Mansion 3, Animal Crossing, mainline Pokemon game Generation 8, Bayonetta 3, and Metroid Prime 4, which we already discussed is delayed, unfortunately. And the one interesting kind of thing from the Direct is that there were no 3DS titles, so I think the 3DS is probably not got much of its lifespan left. I think its days are numbered. I think the 3DS is probably not gonna have much support left, not gonna have many games left. One really cool story actually that wasn't mentioned in the Direct, but is still Nintendo related, kind of. If you know the game Hollow Knight, it's a very kind of cool, cartoony Metroidvania that came out a while ago, and the people who made it, Team Cherry, announced basically DLC, but it's like a sequel, a full sequel to the game called Hollow Knight Silksong, and it's gonna be exclusive for Switch and PC. So yeah, if you got a Switch and you like Hollow Knight, look out for that. That should be really cool. It's not even just like a small kind of DLC thing. It's a fully fleshed sequel. So yeah, that's cool. Hopefully you can pick that up if you're interested in that. Pennsylvania in the US put forward a bill that adds a 10% tax on violent video games in order to prevent school shootings. This headline really, I don't understand why anyone thought this was a good idea. Taxing video games, violent video games, is not going to prevent school shootings. Do you know what will prevent school shootings? Oh, I don't know, maybe regulating guns a bit more, maybe taxing guns themselves. What a crazy idea. Wouldn't that be great if you taxed guns and firearms instead of video games that are completely unrelated? I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all, honestly. I find it really strange that just like this kind of misconception that violent video games cause violence in real life. I really don't like the idea of like, there's this huge debate, huge conversation been going on for ages, whether video games cause violence. Most results to any tests are like inconclusive, or show maybe that like players who play violent video games have a change in mood because of them. Is that none of them actually show that they cause real life violence. I don't know why you'd want to tax the games themselves, because there's already age ratings. There's already age ratings for that. I don't know. That's a weird story. I don't really know how to talk about it without just being angry and complaining. But that's something that could happen. Violent video games could be taxed in order to prevent school shootings. Man, that's weird. Anyway, another kind of story. Again, kind of sad, kind of frustrating. Activision Blizzard laid off recently 775 people, or like 8% of his workers, despite record results in 2018. Just, again, it's just really terrible. It's a really terrible story. Those are people losing jobs. That's 775 people. That's like, if you round it up, it could be close to 1,000 people losing their jobs for close to no reason, really. That Activision Blizzard are doing really well. They did really well in 2018. Their net revenue was $7.5 billion in 2018. And that was like the year before that was an increase from $2 billion in 2017. So Activision and Blizzard have like a lot of money behind them, and for them to just kind of fire this many people despite this, it just doesn't add up. It doesn't really make sense at all, this many people losing their jobs. So really, like, when you think about why people get fired from their jobs, usually you'd probably say either the people themselves did something wrong, they were like working inadequately, or they were like rude, or did something like wrong in order for them to get fired, or the company themselves are like financially unstable and unable to pay the workers properly. That's why they have to be laid off. So that kind of situation, the second one we kind of saw with Telltale Games a while ago, when they laid off a bunch of their workers because they had to shut down. Activision Blizzard doesn't have either of those excuses really. It's doing really financially well, it's really economically growing and stable, so to fire this many workers, it doesn't make sense. And all of these workers, it wasn't for a reason that they did wrong. Again, it was just for no reason given really, apparently. The one kind of tweet that I saw that I feel like summarizes my feelings on it quite well was from Chris Kohler. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but he said, "It's so gross to listen to Activision Blizzard talk about how incredibly well they did this year while it lays off hundreds of people who made that happen. It's all literally happening simultaneously. Conference call happening now as people are tweeting about being out of work." So really, yeah, it's just a really gross, disgusting practice overall. It's not like, it doesn't seem ethically or morally justified at all as like a business practice for them to lay off so many people for no reason when they're doing so well. And this, like, the CEO Bobby Kotick told investors in this kind of conference call that the company hit record results in 2018, but would be kind of consolidating or rearranging the kind of company by just like laying off this many people. It's really, it just makes me angry. I don't know why they do that. It's just literally for money. That's the only reason. So again, really just like the kind of moral of the story almost, this brought up a huge conversation in the fact that in the gaming industry we kind of need more workers' unions to protect the people who make games and work to make games possible, because the companies and the people, the higher ups in charge of all of these kind of game companies are just really not responsible, and they're really kind of, it's completely unfair. And I think people need to talk about this, and people need to try to make a difference, because this is not okay, it is not right for this many people to be laid off from their jobs. Yeah, it's just sad that many people kind of lost their jobs really. And like, hopefully, I hope they find other jobs in kind of the gaming industry. I think Microsoft or lots of those kind of companies are still hiring. So yeah, I don't know, I just wish them best of luck really. And yeah, last kind of stories. Mewtwo's birthday was this month. That's kind of funny. It's just a light-hearted story. Mewtwo, the Pokemon's birthday was on the 6th of February. So that's kind of funny, I guess. One was Xbox Live is coming to the Nintendo Switch, which I found quite funny and quite interesting, because that's just something that I definitely wouldn't expect. I find that quite surprising. Xbox Live coming to Nintendo Switch. Xbox and Nintendo have been really close recently with like crossplay and all sorts of stuff, but definitely didn't expect this in particular. Basically, Xbox Live is going to come to lots of different platforms, including like iOS, Android, kind of phones, tablets, and one of them is going to be Nintendo Switch, which is just, yeah, it's interesting. You'll be able to play, I guess, Xbox games on the Switch. So sorry for the sudden interruption or the brief change in format. Hopefully it's not too jarring. I know this episode's been really long, but I just wanted to quickly update everyone on a few important stories that I missed out in an attempt to be thorough. So first of all, there's this controversy surrounding a game called Catherine, which was a puzzle platformer or puzzle fighting game that came out in 2011 and was made by Atlas. It's quite a popular game, and recently it got a sequel by the name of Catherine Full Body, and there's been a huge controversy surrounding this Catherine Full Body sequel because it seems to have a lot of kind of transphobic content or transphobic narrative, in particular with these two characters who are trans, Rin and Erica, I think. And Erica, basically, spoilers for the game if you haven't played it and you are looking to play it, but basically the whole controversy surrounded the fact that this Erica character, who's a trans woman, was shown in a good ending, or the best ending for the game, having never transitioned and just living her life out as a man, and supposedly that improved everyone's life or was better for everyone, which just seemed like a pretty strange decision to have. One Twitter user I found summarized the situation as in Catherine Full Body, showing a trans character pre-transition and constantly dead-naming and misgendering her is completely unnecessary. There's zero need to show it in the first place. It is absolutely transphobic and disrespectful to show a trans character pre-transition if there's even a slight implication that they might be better off with their assigned gender at birth. Another kind of public statement that was made by someone quite well known for playing Catherine in esports, called David Brolate. He said, "I have spent the last 7 years cultivating a community over the puzzle fighting game that just happened to be attached to the story of Catherine. I have always felt ashamed by the transphobic content in the story. When I heard we were getting a sequel, the first thing that came to my mind and my persistent fear was that they would do it again and worse, and it happened. It's so much worse than I feared. This team of writers should be fired for their dangerous and consistent transphobic speech, and I am absolutely disgusted that I helped them sell this dumpster fire of a story that might make even one person believe in their slimy and hateful rhetoric." So yeah, this kind of part of the game, this ending, seems to be quite transphobic, and it seems to have caused a lot of outrage. One last comment I kind of wanted to touch on was the voice actor for this Erica character, called Erin Fitzgerald, made a tweet, made a kind of statement on it, saying, "I support the localization team and the incredible work they did to be considerate about the subject matter. Wait till it comes out before you judge it. Things need to be experienced in context in order to understand them. I am sincerely interested in honest and true perspectives once the localization comes out. I feel it will be an important part of the discourse of this game and talking about everything in it." So those were kind of just some differing opinions on the controversy surrounding this game. Catherine Full Body is out now, but I wouldn't consider really supporting it if I were you, considering it has a lot of transphobic content or transphobic narrative. Anyway, moving on to the next story, one that I missed that I just found really funny, quite a light-hearted story. Basically, this popular American rapper or American kind of musician, artist, whatever you want to call him, called Soulja Boy, he wanted to try to become an entrepreneur. He wanted to try to get into the games industry. He wanted to try to make his own console, except he wasn't making it. He didn't own it. He didn't make it at all. He was just selling it. He was reselling. He was rebranding. He was just selling it as a marked up price for profit, and it wasn't his. None of the things was his. He was selling an emulator, and it was basically illegal games, illegal emulators. Lots of these games that were being emulated were Nintendo games, and of course Nintendo likes to keep a kind of iron fist on their copyright and stuff, so they obviously threatened him with a lawsuit. And after he kind of threw a tantrum on Twitter and made a lot of homophobic tweets, which he later deleted, he had to take down his console, and that was the end of the story, basically. Last story I kind of wanted to cover is there's this new game that's out now called Apex Legends. It came out this month. You probably know of it. It's a very popular battle royale, again, free-to-play battle royale with hero shooter elements, and unanimously it seems like this one is a lot better than Fortnite. So I don't know what that means really. Fortnite sets quite a low standard, a low bar in my opinion, but I would like to try this game. I'm very interested in it, and hopefully I'll try it for the channel. It's free to play again. It's for PC, PS4 and Xbox One, so you can try it out if you want, see what it's like. And yeah, that game is by Respawn Entertainment, which is also like very well known for making Titanfall 2, which also, because of the success of Apex Legends now, Titanfall 2, the player count has doubled in 1 week since Apex came out. So yeah, basically Apex seems pretty popular right now, and Respawn is definitely benefiting if people are checking out their other games because of it as well. Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story is a RPG for Nintendo DS, and it had its 10-year anniversary recently. It was celebrating that, and it also had a remake recently called Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story and Bowser Jr.'s Journey, and that's going to be a 3DS title, one of probably maybe the last of the system. And unfortunately, it's one of the worst selling Mario titles or Mario games, which is a shame because Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story is like one of my favorite games personally. But the fact that I played it on the DS, and you can play DS games on the 3DS due to backwards compatibility, it definitely seemed like a strange decision that I don't think is maybe like, that's one of the reasons why it wasn't selling that well, because you can just buy the original really. There didn't seem to be like that much of a need for a remake. Total worldwide sales for like consoles, the PS4 was the best selling console in the fiscal year of 2018. It sold 17.77 million units, which is a huge amount, and Nintendo Switch was like just behind with 17.4 million units. So yeah, 2018 was a big year for both Sony and Nintendo. Also, Smash Bros. Ultimate has exceeded 12 million units in sales worldwide, and it's the fastest selling Nintendo home console game of all time, and it has surpassed every Smash Brothers game in lifetime sales, with the exception of Brawl, because of course Brawl was sold on the Wii, and everyone bought a Wii, everyone bought a copy of Smash Brawl. So yeah, either way, Smash Bros. Ultimate boosting sales for the Switch. That's kind of exciting. I think that's really cool because of course I really like Smash Bros. Ultimate. I think more people should play it. Yeah, that's crazy, that many people playing it. That's cool, that's exciting. I think we can end it there. That's the end of the episode really. Just gonna finish with Smash Brothers sales. So yeah, really thanks a lot for watching. Genuinely, like, this Arefintendo series I'm having a lot of fun doing. I really enjoy recording these, and I think as someone who kind of like procrastinates a lot and isn't the most organized, I feel like news is kind of quite hard for me to do because it gets irrelevant quite quickly or outdated quickly, a lot of the stories. But I do kind of enjoy doing this kind of monthly show where just kind of using the green screen, using just like talking about games, talking about gaming news, sharing my opinion. Yeah, I just want to do more of this really, and hopefully I'll just get better at it with as time goes by. I hope you can stick around and check out more of these if you're interested. That's really it. Yeah, that's basically end of the show. Thanks so much for watching. If you like the video in any way, please drop a big blue thumbs up down below, and if you want to see more content like this in the future, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Oh, that was exhausting.